We have a hoax going on right now, and it should be stopped immediately by the Attorney General. It's a total charade.
All right, Donald Trump this morning responding to the John Durham report that outlined some really bad behavior by the FBI during the 2016 campaign. Durham lays out how the FBI became a de facto arm of the Clinton campaign and never had any evidence to launch the original investigation into Trump. Kurt Bardella doesn't buy any of this. Democratic strategist, LA Times contributor, former House GOP Oversight Committee member. Okay, let me have it.
Okay. I'm just going to say this from the onset. The more that Republicans relitigate 2016 or 2020, the more they will. It is the pinnacle of idiocy that anyone would suggest that anyone in Congress right now should bring John Durham before their committee and have hearings about this. It is a political. Listen, if they want to keep playing this card over and over and over again as a Democrat strategist, I welcome it. Please do.
Okay. Somehow, though, that didn't have anything to do with the question I asked, which is, I'm wondering, I get that. It was the point I made to Devin Nunes during the interview. Fine. We can still agree, though. Reasonable people can agree. You read the John Durham report, taken at face value, and we're supposed to believe everything that comes out of the Department of Justice, right? That it's pretty troubling what happened in 2016.
I read the John Durham report and I think to myself, gee, this sounds a whole lot like a report I read in 2019 that was done by the Inspector General's office. So what the hell was Durham really doing for the last 4 years other than regurgitating a report that already exists that, frankly, doesn't actually have the goods? They promised to find and expose the crime of the century. You want to talk about mismanaging expectations? When you say that...
I'm not arguing comms here. All I'm asking is that why is it so hard for Democrats to say, hey, look, it turns out that the FBI did some really bad things in 2016. I didn't hear him say it during the 2019 report. Maybe you have a second report so the Democrats are actually willing to admit the truth on this.
Because I don't think that those reports really say it that explicitly. I don't think that's what's really going on here. One of the reports here and one of the footnotes they talk about is the whole underlying thing about the Clinton Foundation investigation was actually derived from Russian propaganda. That's what everyone ran with, which was idiotic and not true. And so I just don't think you can go out there and say that these reports definitively say something when in actuality they really don't. And again, people, please look at the 2019 Inspector General's report on this because that is so eerily similar.
Well, if nothing bad happened, why did the FBI immediately put out a statement not refuting a single thing in this report that said they ignored exculpatory evidence, they went on very, very thin evidence, and the FBI puts out a statement not saying we did no wrong and we're Boy Scouts, that said, hey, we've already put in place a number of recommendations to keep this from happening again.
Because, again, that was exactly what they did after the 2019 IG report came out. And you'll notice in the Durham report, there's nothing in there that says this is what the FBI should actually do, what better standards and practices they should institute going forward. There's no recommendations for that. So what does the FBI really have to say or do? Because there's nothing in the report that says they need to change their behavior or take a specific directive to
it
change how they
the
do
FBI responded to the report, this is the Wall Street Journal reporting, by claiming it had already implemented dozens of corrective actions that, if in place in 2016, would have prevented this. We can all agree there were things the FBI did in 2016 that were wrong by that.
I think there were things that they did in 2016 that they wouldn't do again now. But I'm not going to go out there and say, oh, these were definitively wrong either.
All right. That's unsurprising, but honest. Kurt, it's good to see you as always.
You too,
Thank you very much. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.